Hi, everybody. Just giving people a chance to hop on here, get situated, and then we're going to get Alka on. I'm so excited for tonight, you guys. Like, I can't even right now. Kalley. Kalley had to be a mom for a minute. Let's see here. All right. Let's try this again here. All right, Kalley.
Hey, Krystal.
Hi. Wait, hoping Leyla can get on here. I had to laugh at your text. I told everybody that you had to go be a mom really fast.
She goes to bed at 7:30, but then she like continues to knead things for like another hour.
It's always the way.
So I'm like, okay.
Let's see if we can get. Hello, everybody. Trying to get Leyla on here. Leyla, if you can see me, I keep inviting you, but for some reason I don't see you yet. So I don't know if maybe you can try and click something on your end or ask to join here. Whoa! Sorry, guys. Whoa. Okay. All right, let me just see if I can text Leyla quickly here.
There she is.
There's her. Hey.
Hey there. Give me just a sec. I'm on my phone and not on the computer, so let me just turn the volume down there. Hold on.
Gotcha. All right, then when you ladies are ready, we will go ahead. I'm so excited.
Me too.
Hey.
Hey there. Give me just a sec. I'm on my phone and not on the computer, so let me just.
All that fun echoing.
Can you now?
I see you.
Yep.
Okay.
Okay, let me go ahead and send Alka the invite here. I don't know why it took so long for me to try and get you on here, Leyla. I invited you like 6 or 7 times. Like, I know you're there. I don't know what was going on, so hopefully we don't have the same thing with Alka. Keep trying. Maybe it's just that she's not quite on yet, because it's not quite 7 o'clock, and that's what I told her. It was 7 o'clock. So I'm going to give her a few minutes here, and we can just kind of chit-chat a little bit. Did you guys have your drinks? Did you guys make chai?
I ended up just grabbing a water because I was super thirsty. Did you make a chai?
I did. I feel like I need to actually show you guys, because I felt like I got real artisanal with it. Like,
ooh,
I'm all fancy over here.
That cinnamon on top?
Yeah. So good.
I ended up finding, let me see, it's called a vanilla caramel chai.
Ooh, that sounds good.
Only there's no cream or anything, but just that's making.
Oh, okay.
that sounds really good.
It does sound really good. Like,
Tastes good.
is it still just a black tea though?
Yeah. I'm sure you could probably put some almond milk or something on it. I ended up putting some ice cubes because it was a little too hot.
That happens.
Yes.
There is something so definitely like warming and comforting about it, though, I have to say. Like, it's just so good. I forgot how good it was. I haven't had it in like forever. Probably since like last fall. All right, hang on one second. I'm just going to send her a quick message. Okay. All right. I've tried inviting her a couple of times and I just sent her a message. So let me just invite her one more time here and we'll see if we can't. Because I didn't see where she joined the live yet. So maybe that's why.
Yeah, it's just 8 o'clock now, so she's probably getting on soon.
Yeah. So we'll just kind of chit chat a little bit. You guys bring anything to work on while we're here?
Yes.
Look at you. What about you, Layla?
I'm actually wearing my finished FO. Do you guys recognize it?
You.
Yeah.
So
I recognized it right away. It looks good.
it looks good on you, girl.
Thank you. I love that whole, you know what? I had that yarn from Hobby Lobby for, I can't tell you how long. And when it came up that it was a size 3 yarn, I was like, oh my God, it's really thin, you know? But I loved it. It was really good. I almost want to make another one.
Well, we just were joined by Alka Joshi. Welcome. So we're all so excited that you're here, and I'm still kind of beside myself, to be honest. I'm a little, hopefully I don't do everything too bad.
Hey, well, I'm excited to be here with you guys. This is great.
I love the backdrop too.
Well, thank you. I think I'm going to turn this off. And then it's not so yellow. Yeah, that's better.
Looks good. Looks good. Well, welcome to those joining. We are welcoming Alka Joshi, New York Times bestselling author of The Henna Artist and The Secret Keeper of Jaipur. And this is a trilogy, so we are hoping to pump her for all the information she can give us about the third book while we're here. Alka, why don't you go ahead and tell us a little bit about yourself?
Okay, let's see. I am 63 years old. I live in the Monterey Peninsula, and I think this is like heaven on a stick. It's so wonderful to be out here, and the weather is always kind of temperate, around 60. And this morning I did my aqua aerobics class, which I love, and the music is all from the 60s, 70s, and 80s, which is fun because that's like my era. You guys are way younger than I am. Let's see, and then I have done almost 600 book clubs in the last 18 months. Oh, so you guys are my third one today.
Oh, that's amazing. You are a busy woman.
And in 2 days, I leave for Paris because I'm doing research on book number 3. So that is all happening in Paris because Radha is in 1974. She's living in Paris. She's working as a perfumer. I'm going to be meeting with master perfumers and going into fragrance labs and going into distilleries and, you know, just absorbing all that information that I can then put in the novel. I love doing the research part of all of these books also, because I learned so much about something I don't know anything about.
That's amazing. I love Paris. And so I am super excited to hear, well, not hear, but read everything that you find out in the next book. That's amazing. Yeah, I didn't even put 2 and 2 together with that. Like, yeah, it probably is taking place in Paris or in France. So that's awesome. I can't wait for that. So is there something in particular you're looking forward to most about the research for the next book?
You know, I didn't know very much about perfumes. I'm not a big perfume wearer. So just learning about fragrances is kind of interesting. So first of all, I don't know if you guys know, but you know, every perfume has 3 different kinds of ingredients. One is the top note, which only lasts for 15 minutes or so. And that's what you smell first when you spray a perfume on yourself. And then the middle note is the one that lasts for 3 hours, 1 to 3 hours. And then what you're left with at the end of 24 hours is the base note. So it's very important for perfumers to get each of those in the right proportions in a fragrance so that all throughout the 24-hour experience, you are pleased with the scent that's on your skin.
And I think it's so fascinating that Radha is going to be in this line of work, especially in that time period.
Yeah. And she also, you know, she has 2 kids. She has that life she always wanted, right? She wanted children. So she's got them. But you know what? It hasn't turned out to be the bed of roses that she was anticipating. So maybe some of you guys will relate to this, but, you know, her first child was 𝗖cie. Her first girl whom she had in Paris was 𝗖cie. The second daughter is a challenge for her. And so she's having some major issues with the daughter, as well as, you know, with her husband trying to raise this second child.
You know, it's funny, like they always joke around how like the first child lulls you into having the second child.
Is that true? Have you guys found that too?
Yeah.
I only have one, so I'm not falling for it. She is pretty easy.
Oh,
I believe it.
Lucky you.
The second,
Boys.
yeah.
And do you have a boy or a girl? Do you guys have boys or girls?
2 boys.
I have 2 boys as well.
Can you hear me?
No, I have one girl.
Wow. Do you guys think boys are easier than girls?
I think they each have their challenges.
I think
there's a little bit of both. You know, like there's pros and cons. I don't know that either one is easier. They just
Look at this. Bricana is saying my second one is the easy one. And then Made by Carrie is saying, and the third made me have a fourth. And Hazel has 3 girls. Oh my gosh. You guys, kudos to you. Kudos to you all for raising all those children, our future.
My second boy was more of a challenge, Cindy says. Yeah, Scrap Collector is my friend Cindy. She says that her second boy was more of a challenge. That's kind of I like to think of my second as like the honey badger. Have you seen? He does what he wants. He says, like, there's no control. Although I'm trying.
And also, I think that as mothers, you have to think about different ways to raise each one, because they're all going to have different personalities. So the methods that you employed with number 1 may not be the same methods you employ with number 2 when you're trying to get them to do things, right? That's
right. Oh, that's right. So Mill, I'm going to really just murder your username here. And Ladybugs, I'm a 3rd child. We are angels here. Ha! He's the 3rd child.
Oh, that's funny.
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah.
Let's see, my first made me want to have another, and I had twins. Oh no! My family, and I always joked with my husband, how many kids do you want? He's like, oh, 2. And I'm like, how about 2 or 3? He's like, 2. So, but what if we go for 2 and we get 2 and 3? He says, we put 1 back. I was like, it doesn't work out. Bless them, men. Well, that's awesome. So, obviously, the Henna Artist has been such a huge success for you. And I have heard that Miramax is picking it up to adapt it into a series. So do you have any more details on that? I know that Frida Pinto is being cast and she's helping to produce it, but there were kind of scarce details that I could find out. Anything else on that? Do you have any other?
You know, that's because they keep everything very hush-hush during the development process. And all I know is that they are writing the episodes now. It has been picked up by a streaming show, a streaming platform. And so they have ordered a certain number of episodes that are being, you know, built right now. And then those will have to be vetted by the streaming company because they have to approve the scripts. And then they will start hiring the cast and the crew, and then they will actually start filming. So the filming probably won't begin until early 2023.
Gotcha. But at least they've got like a writer, it sounds like now, because that's more than I could find online when I looked.
Yeah, they're obviously they have to put together like a writer's room because there's so many different characters, you know. And so they're going to put together a writer's room of men and women and different, nationalities and different sort of religions, so that we can get a really nice kind of diverse mix. Because as you know, these people are all different in the Secret Keeper. We've got Hindus, we've got Muslims, we've got different castes and different classes. So we want to be able to represent all of those.
I am so excited to see it. And I have to say that I don't think that anybody else could do Lakshmi like Freida Pinto. Like,
she's going to be so great.
Perfect.
I don't know if they're going to give her, you know, I have those blue gray eyes that Lakshmi has, right? And so I'm wondering if they're going to give that to Freida, like, you know, contact lenses or something to make her eyes more blue. I don't know. I've never worn contact lenses, so I don't know if those would look real or not, or, you know, I don't know.
I think they get pretty realistic with them from what I've seen in other, and since they're so central to her character, I feel like they have to do something with it, you know?
Yeah.
That's so fascinating. I'm so excited for that. I always get really excited, especially, you know, when I've been able to read and connect with the books like I have with this series, and being able to see it come to life. I mean, you know, some people are always like, oh, I can't watch a movie after, or a TV series after I've read the book. It'll ruin it for me. I'm like, no, I'll just give it all to me.
Oh yeah. You know, it's really a thrill. Like, I am looking forward to seeing what they're going to do with the TV series. How is that all going to come together? I'm really curious. And, you know, I think that it takes so much work to put a TV series or a movie together. It takes at least 2 to 3 years to plan it all out, to get the funding, you know, all of that kind of stuff, to write and then rewrite and rewrite and rewrite. So I'm curious. I'm just like dying to know how they're going to do this. My favorite scene that I am looking forward to realizing is the one where Lakshmi is dancing on her floor, that patterned floor that she created. And she's got the lamps all lit around the room, and she hears the music in her head, and she's dancing, dancing, dancing. And I can't wait to see how they're going to make that come alive.
Yeah, same. That would be a great one. There's so many scenes in that. I just want to see all of it.
It'll be really beautiful for sure.
And I really want to see how they do the floor. Like, that's probably it was such a thing in the book. Like, I could almost visualize it in my head, but I want to see it.
Yeah. Me too.
What'd you say, Leyla?
The intricate design.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
Yeah.
And the henna.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So, you know, the henna is all coming from my imagination. That is not coming from anything I have ever seen a henna artist actually do. So, so the henna is like nothing I have ever seen before. You know, when she paints a fig and a wasp on Parvati's feet, that is completely from my imagination. And it is just meant to sort of represent, you know, something sexual that could be happening within the sphere of her marriage. Because I read this whole article about figs and wasps. And there's about 50 different varieties of figs, and each of them requires a different wasp to fertilize it. And when that wasp goes in to fertilize that fig, it dies. It dies a happy death, okay? And so I thought, wouldn't it be cool if Samir feels like, ooh, you know, once I fertilize Parvati, I will die a happy death. So that's really what all of that is meant to sort of symbolize. And, you know, that's just my cuckoo imagination at work.
It's not cuckoo at all. I think it's
I love it.
That's cool.
So kind of leading with that then, since we're already on the topic of henna, if Lakshmi was going to paint henna on you,
yeah,
What design elements do you think that she would give you?
Okay, I've been thinking about this because it's so hard. This is so hard. It's a hard question. But I thought, okay, one of the things I would want her to paint on me are ladybugs, because ladybugs are good luck. And my mother loved ladybugs. And I got to tell you, after Mom died in 2012, about 3 years after I'd started working on the Henna Artist, I started seeing ladybugs everywhere. They would be, I swear to you, they would be on my path as I was walking. All of a sudden a ladybug would show up. And I just think it was Mom's way of saying, I'm still here. I'm still looking out for you. It's, everything's fine. So I would want a ladybug. And then I think I might want rose, because I love the smell of roses. I love the fragrance of roses. I'd want a rose. I had some ideas earlier. Now, what were they? I think I would want probably the flag of India on there, because that is such a big part of my sort of heritage and my past. So I definitely would want that on there. And, I want something like Lakshmi would come up with for ambition, because I am very ambitious. I have always been ambitious. And I used to think that was a bad thing. Because I think people would, at work, people would say, oh, you're so ambitious, as if that was, a derogatory thing, right? Like, well, like I was reaching for more than I should. Mm-hmm. And so after a while, I realized, and it took me decades to realize, that actually that's a really good thing. You can be ambitious. No one faults a man for being ambitious. Everybody says, oh, that's, that man is very ambitious. He's going places. Well, I want for people to say that about women. Oh, she's ambitious. She's going places, not that it means I'm going to step all over people, but just that I'm also capable of accomplishing amazing things. So, I would want something like, what Lakshmi does about her, what she puts on her floor. I think I would have to have elements of that in my henna as well. Maybe I'll just have Lakshmi's floor done on my hands, and then when you put the hands together, it actually like makes one floor, right? That would be so cool.
That would be really neat. Definitely. Ooh, Fox and Chenko just said, I see rose in your special perfume blend in Paris.
Ooh, thank you very much. Does Rose and Fox and Chenko know something about fragrances? Or is that just something you're predicting for my fragrance in the future? We have talked a little bit about creating a special fragrance for book number 3, because it is all about fragrances. And so I don't know whether that's going to become a reality, but I think it could happen. And last year with the Henna Artist, I had my friend Mandana make a special Lakshmi perfume. She wanted to do it. After she read the book, she said, oh my gosh, I have to do a perfume for Lakshmi. And it's actually called Lakshmi, and you can actually buy it from her. It's only like $20 for the bottle, but it's a wonderful scent, and it has cardamom and black pepper and cloves and just all of those scents that you read about in the Henna Artist in it. And it's just, it's very light. It's very refreshing.
You'll have to send me the link for that, and I can share it with people.
Okay, I would love that.
That would be great. Yeah, that's awesome. Let's see, there were some comments here I wanted to kind of get back to. Let's see, Coastal Susan said she loved the wasp fig analogy. Yes, that was good. Somebody else was asking.
And then there's a scene at the very end where we have the oil vendor's wife who is being serviced by Lakshmi. And, right. She's had a couple of kids, and so her breasts are sagging from all the breastfeeding. And so Lakshmi paints all of those leaves, that are going upwards like this to sort of not physically lift up her breast, but, give that illusion of lifted area in that section. And so I've had so many book club people say to me, where can I get that henna? Who does that kind of henna? I have to disappoint them and say, you know what, I just made that up. I don't even know anybody who does that.
That's when I guess like now is a very prime opportunity for some henna artists to capitalize on some of this stuff.
Well, I keep telling henna artists that somebody out there needs to develop a henna salon very similar to how Lakshmi treats her patrons. And you know, when they come in, give them chai, give them a samosa, you know, make sure that you put their feet in some kind of a warm bath, and then you know, do all the pressure points of their hands, you know, massage their hands, massage their feet before you start doing the henna. I just think, you know, that's like waiting to happen, you guys. Do it. Whoever's out there thinking about it, do it.
Now, I'm assuming that you've had henna painted before, yes?
Yeah.
Have Leyla or Kalley, have you guys had it done?
I have
Yeah.
not.
I was gonna say Kalley, I know, has been to India, so I figured she probably had. I would love to. I never have.
Where did
What?
you go? Where did you go to in India? It's a big country.
Yeah, it is big. It was right in the center, and it was called Nagpur, Nagpur. I can't think of, I don't know what it was near, but it
And
was
why
really
why were
beautiful.
you there?
It was like a community service type trip when I was in college.
Oh, wow.
So back in, it's been about 10 years, I think.
So did you go to the Taj Mahal after that, or did you go to any of the
No,
points?
sadly, we didn't go to the Taj Mahal, but we visited some other palaces and temples, and it was really beautiful.
Oh, that's so cool.
Hmm.
Um, so many of the book clubs that I have been a part of, and I see that Scrap Collector is pointing this out. But so many of the book clubs I've been a part of have had a henna artist there when everybody could get together again. They've always had a henna artist there who's done all of their hands before they start talking about the book to me, which I think is just so cool. You know, it's just a great way to bring a lot of people together and to give women self-care. Because, you know, the henna is such a cooling and calming sort of application. It's like when you go to the hairdresser and they shampoo your hair and they wash it and then they blow dry it. You know, hands on you, somebody else's hands doing all of that to you is so relaxing, right? It's like when
Hmm.
you're a kid and your mother is bathing you. It just feels so sweet and so warm. And so that's what I think henna application is all about. So when you do get a chance to have that done, I would definitely take somebody up on it. You know, I would definitely do that.
So Burkina over here, she actually is another friend of mine, and her husband is Indian. And she's been to several places, and she's got a few here. She says that she's visited Golden Temple, Taj Mahal, and Agra Fort. Am I saying those
Oh,
right?
yes, Agra, yes. So Agra is where my mother spent most of her schooling years, and Agra is where there's a Red Fort in Agra, and then there is the Taj Mahal there also. Yeah, and those are amazing places to visit. You know, they're like one of the Taj Mahal is one of the seven wonders of the world. You have to be able to see it. It's amazing to me that all of those thousands of years ago, somebody was able to construct something so intricate and so detailed. And, you know, the Taj Mahal, all the walls of the marble used to be embedded with all of these precious stones and semi-precious stones. Those have been removed over time, but when it was first built, the entire temple was just studded with, you know, jewels. It's just amazing.
Sounds amazing. I would love to get to see it someday. Someday I'm gonna get there. I felt like I was there when I was reading your books, but
Yeah.
like not there specifically, but like in India, just the way the atmosphere,
Yeah.
the really immerse us
Mhm.
in not setting, but the time period as well. It was all just so amazing. I
And
really, I was right there.
and have any of you ever worn a sari or had a chance to wear a sari?
Mm-mm.
No, Kalley, you didn't do that when you went to India. You didn't ever put on a,
They kind of pinned one on us, but not very well.
I used to wonder, you know, whether it was whether it took a while to learn how to put a sari around you. And you know, it does. because my mother could just do it in like a couple of minutes, boom, 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 and she's got it all set up. But when I tried to do it, it would always take me forever to pleat. You know, you've got to do like 15 pleats on a sari that go right in the middle of your petticoat, and you tuck those in, and then you wrap the pallu, the end of the sari, all around you like that. And it would just take me forever, and it still does if I ever try to do it myself. And it looks sloppy when I do it, but my mom was so practiced, you know, that she could just do it like that.
Kalley, I kind of want to see the pinned version of yours. I think we need photo evidence of this.
I'll have to find one. It's probably on Facebook somewhere.
Yeah.
So,
what did you guys, by the way, what did you guys think about the herbal remedies? Do any of you practice anything, you know, kind of herbal in your daily medicine cabinet sort of thing?
I do essential oils.
Yeah,
Oh.
me too. So I found that really, like, I felt like I could smell everything while I was reading the book.
So what kind of essential oils do you use?
So I have so many different ones, and I have a whole book that tells me that I can look up whatever like symptoms that I'm having and find an oil for it. But primarily I use frankincense to help with brain fog and memory issues. And 𝗕𝗃𝗃, which is like to help with some joint pain type stuff. Lavender for calming, or I'll put it into a bath. Sometimes I cook with them, you know, like I'll put lavender in something, or peppermint, or, you know.
Wow. Oh my gosh, I love that. Wow, so you really know your essential oils. That's amazing. Do you go buy them separately, or did you buy them in a kit, or how does that happen?
So I started out buying them in a kit, and then I just acquired more individual oils over the years. I have been using them for, gosh, probably like 5 years now, maybe 6. And so I've got, yeah, I should also post a picture of my case that I have them all in is full. Like,
Wow.
It's addicting.
it's huge.
So, Kalley, do you do essential oils too?
Yeah, it's same as Kristen, just kind of whatever it tells me to do, but peppermint, lavender, frankincense usually get used the most. I found recently that for like hand pain, when I've been knitting a lot, if I put a couple drops of frankincense in with my hand lotion, it just like relieves the pain.
Wow,
Amazing.
you're kidding.
Have you tried that, Kristen?
I haven't, but I'm going to now.
Yeah.
Wow. Oh my, you know what? I'm going to try that. Because sometimes when I'm gardening and my hands get, you know, like they start cramping or something, you know, it just like is too much of the same repetitive action. So I'll try that. So with your hand lotion, you put the frankincense right in there with it?
Yeah, just like 2 drops, and it smells really good too. So
Yeah.
The
Okay.
other one also good for like that kind of thing is I've had good luck with wintergreen. Is similar. Like my mom and my husband have had like plantar fasciitis, and so we used wintergreen, just putting it on, and seemed to help. So
Oh, it's so fantastic. So listen, when you mix it with your lotion, are you putting it in a bottle like that, or you just have it in your hand? Like here, I've got a couple of pumps of lotion, and now
it comes in like it comes in a little glass bottle, and it just drops out.
It drops out. Okay.
mix it in our hands. I mean, I'm lazy. I just do a squirt of lotion, drop, mix, and rub in.
Yeah.
Ah, okay. And it doesn't make it too oily. I have a hard time finding essential oils that aren't making my skin too oily, like doesn't, you know, greasy.
That has to do, honestly, with the carrier oil that you're using. So like if you're using a really greasy lotion, then you're probably going to have that.
Yeah, I use cocoa butter.
Oh.
But if you were to use like coconut oil, it would be really greasy.
Right.
Okay. And cocoa butter is less greasy. You know what I use? I just go to CVS or Walgreens or something, and I get that big jar of I think it's called 𝗕𝗃𝗃 or
Cetaphil?
Yeah. So it's, you know, it's just like a basic cream. Yeah. It doesn't have a scent, and then I can mix other things with it. So I have a wonderful sandalwood oil that I mix with it. And then, oh my gosh, like all night long, I can smell that. It just smells so good.
Yep. Yeah, that's what I use. You can totally use that. She uses cocoa butter. I use Cetaphil. So, because I have really bad dermatitis. So it's like one of the only things I can use.
So, you know, half the things that I put in the Henna Artist, I know about. Half the things I had to research because I don't know about them. But, you know, when you grow up in a household like I do, where you grew up in India and now your parents are, of course, still Indian. And so your mom's still telling you to, you know, put a little coconut oil in your hair to, you know, give you that shiny sort of coat. You know, you just sort of know half the stuff. But the other half of the stuff that I had to look up, I just thought, I wish I had a sauce like Lakshmi's, who would just teach me all of that. So every single day I would be watching her put these things together for different people. You know, somebody comes in with a headache and she puts some, you know, sandalwood around their temples, and that takes care of it. You know, wouldn't we all just like to have somebody like that and we could just go to and then learn how they do it and then be able to apply all of that to us and our families?
Absolutely.
Yes.
Absolutely. Oh, Layla was saying something, but she was breaking up on my end.
I said that would be a great resource to have.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, yes.
And then it's like, if you want to find any of that stuff out, you have to almost go to Pinterest and then go to about 1 million different places to try one thing that you need. Why?
Yeah. What is that person called? What do you think that person would be called here in the United States? Somebody like Lakshmi's sauce.
Probably like a I don't know. I would almost think like that would be something I would learn from my grandmother instead of like my mom or my mother-in-law. Like I don't know. You mean more like maybe like a guru? I don't know.
Or
No, I think, would they be considered a healer? Or Layla, were you about to say something?
yeah, I was saying, would they be a healer? Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yep.
Mhm.
Yep.
Oh. I was just thinking they would be like a healer. That's what you were saying.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, but you know, like healer has these kind of connotations that are kind of like woo woo, you know, and I actually think that Lakshmi's sauce, her mother-in-law, is not woo woo at all. She's actually, you know, applying very practical methods for, you know, just like you guys were just saying, all these essential oils that you have found out are helpful when you have a pain or when you have, you know, itching, or, you know, you need more lubrication or whatever. So like, I feel like there's got to be some name out there that you could call these people so that it wouldn't sound woo-woo. It would sound more medicinal or something. I don't know.
Potentially.
I think it would be homeopathic medicine, right?
Yeah. Here's Kalley with the buzzword.
I was trying to think of what.
I need more brain. Couldn't remember that.
That would be the like more professional name for healer.
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go. Homeopathic.
Yeah. But I mean, I think that one of the, you know, kind of fascinating things we've gotten away from a lot of that stuff, but fundamentally we all came from that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like even Western medicine is based in a lot of those same types of herbal remedies that come from different areas. And it's kind of like, you know, when Lakshmi was in Jaipur, she had one set of recipes and whatnot that she was familiar with because of the plants and the things that grew around there. But then when she moved to Shimla, Himalayans, she had to kind of change all that stuff because she wasn't as familiar. And so then she had to go to the tribes to kind of learn from them. And I thought that was a really interesting way of putting it, like of showing that perspective. And I loved the mesh of Eastern with Western medicine. Yeah. It's something that like I've definitely been doing too, because I think I've mentioned to, like I had cancer at one point, and so I very heavily relied on all that Western stuff. But then that can only take you so far. And I've found a lot of help with a lot of the Eastern and the essential oil, all that stuff as well. So
Oh,
I think
kudos to you. Kudos to you, Kristen. I think that's wonderful that you you know, did that, because you know, it's like all our bodies are different, and different bodies are going to respond to different treatment, and you may as well just try a whole host of different things, whether they're Eastern or Western, and just see whichever your body's going to respond to, right?
right. Yep, exactly. I remember when I was telling my husband, I was like, I think I'm going to try this. And he kind of gives me this look, and I'm like, what's it going to hurt? Like, at this point, you know, like, can't do anything worse. So, yeah.
What is something that your cancer experience taught you?
So mostly just grab life, you know, like, I know it's so trite, but it's also so true. I mean, there's a reason they say that. It's like when I had that moment of imagining a world where my kids had to grow up without me, it was just sobering and heartbreaking. And, you know, being able to come out on the other end of that and I'm still here, like, I'm just trying to make the most out of each and every experience, you know, and make sure that I'm telling everybody that I love and care about, that I love and care about them. And, you know, don't take a moment for granted, because you don't know how many moments you have. So.
Oh yeah, this is true. By the way, you guys, let's see. Made by Carrie is saying that she uses black pepper for pain. That's interesting. I wonder if you apply it directly to your hurt, or do you drink it with, you know, do you ingest it in food or something? Let's see. I don't know how to say this name. 𝗕𝗁𝗵𝘀 says, hello from Morocco. You have a Moroccan group
Ooh.
here. How wonderful. Shiksa says, I got my son off nebulizers and inhalers using essential oils and homeopathy, having replaced so much medication with the, oh, that's so great. Wow. Much better for you know, her son to not be on the other kind of medication, right? Oh, that's wonderful. Christine Yarwood says, I use citrus for anti-anxiety, lavender for relaxation. I'll have to try frankincense in my lotion while knitting. See, so Carrie, you've given people something with that frankincense in your lotion thing with your knitting.
And Coastal Susan was asking if the comments and everything would be available afterwards. Yes, the whole, this whole thing we'll record it and I'll have the replay up, and all the comments and things will be available, and you'll be able to see all of that stuff. So you can go back and get those essential oil tips as needed. So just curious, aside from writing, obviously, and I heard you mention gardening, is there any other kind of creative outlet that you have?
Yes, I draw. And you know, I sketch. I should say I sketch. I love to sketch. That's really fun for me. I also love to doodle. I think doodling is really relaxing for me. I will often just doodle, and it will start off as nothing, and then it'll grow into something else, or a scene or a person or whatever. And so I do a lot of that. I used to think doodling was sort of silly and a time waster, but I don't think so. I think my mind is working while I'm doodling. I think I'm thinking about all kinds of things and maybe processing things while I'm doodling. I'm just letting my hand do the physical part of what my body is going through. What else? I do read. I read about 5 novels a month. And what else? I love to watch detective shows, you guys. I love like murder mystery kind of things. So I love these series that are on these streaming shows that have, you know, like there's every episode is like a murder, or maybe it's a limited series of 5 or 6 episodes, and we're trying to figure out who the murderer was. I just love those. I don't necessarily want any gore. And I don't do serial killers, because that, like, what's the fun in that? Everybody knows who the guy is, you know, so what's the fun? I just want to know who done it. So
I'm the same way. And like, I'm not a big fan of like the horror genre or any of that kind of stuff. I'm just like, just give me a good old whodunit and we're good. We're cool. I do like the psychological thrillers. Those are kind of fun.
Those are good too. Yes, those are really good. Like that. Did you guys read that Woman in the Window?
Yes. Did you see the Netflix with Amy?
I did, and I think I actually like the book better. You know, I hope people aren't going to say that about the Henna Artist TV series. They're going to say, "Oh no, I like the book better." No, I don't like. I hope that they'll say, "Oh, both of those were good," because I think, like with Big Little Lies, I like the book and I like the TV series. I like both of those. Those
did a good job with that one.
Yes. Yeah. Oh, somebody is recommending Mayor of Easttown. That was a great series. I loved that series. That was fantastic. Well done. And that one starred Kate Winslet. That was so good. Yeah. Okay.
I have a question. Sorry.
Yeah.
Is your favorite genre to read historical fiction, or do you enjoy reading something else more?
I love reading historical fiction because I think that it's a way, especially when historical fiction is written by women, they tend to have more interesting female characters in the history. And I think that it's a way for female authors like me to bring more females from history to life. I think it's so important for us as females to recognize the fact that interesting women like Lakshmi have always existed. Maybe we don't know about them because they've never been written about, but women who bucked the system have always existed. Women who tried to do something different with their lives outside of what the societal parameters were, those are very interesting women, and they haven't always been included in history. Why? Because, you know, history is largely written by men. So 86% of history textbooks, 86% of books that you read in school, those are written by men. Men are going to include men in history books, especially because their interests are war and politics. And that's where men generally dominate. So most of the history makers that are mentioned throughout the time that we are going from grades K through 12 are men. But we need to bring out more of the women. And I think that's what's happening now with a lot of the historical fiction authors, the female ones. They are bringing out all these amazing females that we know always existed. We just, you know, hadn't read about them, but now we're reading about them. So I'm sorry, go ahead.
I said, or even know where to find their stories. Yeah. I think that's why I always read author's notes at the end of historical fictions, to be able to find like the bibliographies and like where they pulled their, you know, their inspiration from for their source work and stuff like that. And then I'll go and read all those books.
Exactly. It's fun.
Yeah, that's awesome. Okay, so I want to play a little game with you.
Sure.
So this is something that like I've been wanting to introduce to our book club here, which our book club is fairly new. Like this is actually we're only like 6 months in or so. So it's kind of evolving as we go. So this game, you might have seen this like around the Instagram stories, you know, like other people's things, but it's called This or That. Are you familiar with that game?
I think so, just vaguely.
Okay, so I'm going to give you like two options. Several, like a list. I have a list of two options each, and you're going to tell me which one you prefer. You have to pick or that. All right. So the first one is coffee or tea?
Tea.
Good.
Okay.
Or physical book?
What was the first part?
Audiobook or a physical book?
Physical book.
Would you rather meet your favorite author or your favorite character?
Favorite character.
Me too. Would you read on the beach or by the fire?
Oh, that's a hard one. Okay, I think I'm gonna pick by the fire, because when I try to read by the beach, I always fall asleep.
And then you can get burned, and that's just no fun. World building or character development?
Character development.
Happy ending or unresolved?
Oh, you know, I actually prefer unresolved. I actually prefer that. And I initially, when I wrote the Henna Artist, I had an unresolved sort of ending. You didn't really know where Lakshmi was going to end up.
It was open to interpretation for sure.
Yeah. And so, you know, I had my editor, you know, say that, you know, readers would like mostly a happier ending. So can you let us know that Lakshmi has headed off to Shimla and she's going to be fine? So it actually hadn't gone quite that far with the ending. And so I added that epilogue in, which let you know that she's in Shimla now and with Dr. Kumar.
I liked that. I felt like you gave us the happy ever after, which I'm a big fan of, and then but left it open to interpretation at the same time. Yeah. I felt like. I think
good, excellent.
Awesome. Well, that's all for the this or that. I kind of figured one of the other things that I wanted to talk to you as we get into kind of more of just like a more general discussion questions is all of the proverbs that you reference throughout your books.
Yeah.
And now there's definitely more of them, I believe, in the Henna Artist than were mentioned in the Secret Keeper. Right. But is there a favorite that you have that whether you've published it in your books or whether maybe it's just one that you've stumbled upon that you haven't told us about in your stories? Do you have a favorite?
Well, I think, you know, going back to the Henna Artist, my title for the Henna Artist was taken from a proverb. Before the publisher said, is it okay if we just call it the Henna Artist? So my original title for the book was Enemy of the Crocodile.
Oh, we lost you a second.
Okay. So there's a proverb that goes, only a fool remains in the water and stays an enemy of the crocodile. And so I wanted to call the book Enemy of the Crocodile. So that was my favorite proverb because for me, it really talked about, it really represented what Lakshmi is trying to do. She's trying to maintain great relationships with Parvati, who is really a crocodile. You know, Parvati can make or break you. And in the end, of course, it turns out that no, she cannot stay friends with Parvati. That's just never going to work.
Yeah. I actually really like that. I mean, I'm a little sad that they didn't go. I mean, I get why they said, you know, fewer words, I guess people need, but I like that. My favorite wasn't actually the proper proverb, but it was just something that made me laugh out loud when I was reading The Secret Keeper. It was the giving jewels to a donkey is as useless as, and then Lakshmi interrupts him and says, giving a eunuch to a woman. I really lost it when I was reading that. And my husband, who was sitting next to me as I was reading it, he's like, what is so funny? I was like, nothing.
Oh my gosh, that is so true. That was so funny. And you know what? I had to make that up. I had to make up the part where Lakshmi interjects. So the proverb actually ends in a different way. And so I made up that part where Lakshmi says, giving a eunuch to a woman.
Yeah, I think then he comes back at her and finish the actual proverb. But I liked her annotation to it.
Yeah. Yeah, I started the proverb as a way that Lakshmi and Samir used to connect to one another. But of course, then as we meet Dr. Kumar in the very first scene of the Henna Artist, in the very, very first chapter, we also realize he's also a part of that whole, group that used to come up with proverbs trying to best each other. And so in The Secret Keeper of Jaipur, Lakshmi is doing that now with Dr. Kumar because he knows how to do that. And so I didn't really feel like I could bring it back for a lot of other, people because it really is something that the three of them know how to do. Yeah.
Right. I loved that. I know Kalley said that was her favorite too.
I chuckled when I read that.
Leyla, did you have a favorite proverb?
There were a couple of them. I think I even wrote them down here. I got the good you do today may be forgotten tomorrow. Do good anyway. Honesty and transparency. And I think it still went a little bit more. That one I think was from Mother Teresa. But just in the storyline, that just kind of, it was a defining moment where it didn't matter how good or what good you did, It was that whole family values. And if you were trying to keep that secret, it didn't matter because it would just go away.
Yeah. Yeah. No, this is so true. What about that other proverb? A monkey who can't dance blames the floor. You
Like
know,
that was in the first book, wasn't it? I think.
yeah, yeah. And you know what's funny is every time I hear that, I think I visualize a monkey dancing on the floor, like doing a moonwalk, you know, or something.
Break dance. It's awesome. Oh, let's see. Scrap Collector had a really great question. She said, do you feel you write the story or do your characters tell you their stories?
At this point, my characters are telling me the story. So, you know, the Henna Artist took me 10 years to write and 30 drafts. And during that process, I had to go deeper and deeper and deeper into the characters. So by now, these characters, they feel like real people. They are in charge and they will tell me what to do and what they want to say and whom they're going to say it to. So I just find that so amazing. When I was a reader, before I became a writer, I used to wonder, how do writers make these characters feel so real? And now I understand that if you live with a character long enough, they are real to you and they are doing things with you and they are going to the shower with you and they go in, you know, into the swimming pool with you and they are, you know, with you every moment of every day. And so they do start taking over the story, which I actually just love. I love that. I love it. You know, in the Secret Keeper of Jaipur, we had Malik washing Sheila's hair. Sheila, the former 𝗕ciecie𝗸𝗁𝘁, he's washing her hair while she's in the tub and she's a little drunk. And so he sort of at some point, he just figures, okay, you know, I need to leave her now. And he goes down the stairs and he's going to go out the door. But then he rushes back upstairs thinking, oh no, what if she drowns? She's so drunk. Maybe she'll drown in the tub. Yep. And at that point, I thought to myself, as the writer, I was thinking, no, Malik, don't go back. No, don't do that. No, I don't want you to go back. But he did it anyway. And I thought, well, this is weird. Like, you know, why can't I be in control of my own character?
Who's in charge here?
Yeah.
Do you
exactly.
that since you said that the Henna Artist took you 10 years to write, and I know that obviously this one did not take 10 years between, and then the third one is due out in 2023. Do you feel like now that you've gotten the main Henna Artist story out there, the rest is it really is probably writing itself? Do you feel like that process of getting into the series with the first book has really helped set up all the others?
Absolutely. And also with the first book, I overwrote it. I wrote so much that got cut, that I have all of this background material that I can then use in book number 2 and then book number 3. So it wasn't like I had to completely reinvent the wheel. I already know what these characters' lives have been like. You know, I already know what they did, what secrets they hold, how they feel about other characters within the story. So none of that I have to reinvent. And that is just a godsend, you know, to be able to do that. Remember, like, when J.K. Rowling first started her Harry Potter series, I mean, the books were just coming like boom, 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 because I think after a while, the characters were practically writing the stories themselves. We had all gotten to know them so well.
Right. It's like, as opposed to the Outlander series. Did you ever read any of those?
No, I haven't. Why? Are they fabulous? Oh,
yes, they're very good. They are very long. I would like. So the Outlander, it's obviously it's historical fiction that takes place primarily. It starts in Scotland around the Jacobite Rising of 1490. Don't quote me on that. Anyway, it's fascinating, and it's got a very strong female character. And I remember I used to work for, I don't know if you remember the store, Borders Bookstore.
yeah, of course.
I used to work for them all through high school and college, and I remember when Diana Gabaldon, who wrote the Outlander series, whenever she would release a book, they're such long books and they're so detailed that it took her years. Like, they were usually like 7 years between books, and like it was a huge thing whenever a new one came out. And I will never forget, like, one of the books came out while I was working at Borders, and I just didn't, like, at that time I wasn't reading historical fiction, so I had no like appreciation for the fervor of these people that were coming in the doors saying, I need this book. Like, but now I've read it and I'm like, okay, I get it.
Wow.
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah, it's a good series. It's definitely one of those though that I have to like, I'll read like the first one and then I need to take a nice long break and then I'll read the second one. So
oh, very interesting. Yeah, so I guess, you know, when you are going to go into that much world building as they're doing, because she's building a whole new world that doesn't even exist, right? She is really going into a part of history that has never existed also. So, you know, she is really doing some fabulous world building with her series. I don't actually have to invent this world because it actually exists. You know what I mean?
right.
So, yeah, all I have to do is re-envision Jaipur, re-envision Shimla, and I'm there.
I
Yeah.
have a question about the third book. Will it be written from multiple perspectives like the second book was?
I think it's going to be, for every time I do 𝗕cie, you know, he's now 18 years old in book number 3. Every time I do 𝗕cie, I only do him in third person. But when I do Radha, I do her in first person, and then I do Lakshmi in first person also. So it'll be those two main perspectives, and then the third point of view is really sort of a third person point of view.
So we will get more about 𝗕cie.
Oh yeah, so in book number 3, that's when 𝗕cie accidentally finds out that he was adopted all those years ago, and he confronts Radha. He goes all the way to Paris. He runs away from home. He goes to Paris, and he wants to know who she is and why did she give him up and who's his father. So yeah, that's what book number 3 is all about. It's yeah, it's a big journey. Yeah.
It's been building.
Yeah. So I've been talking to a lot of adoptees and adoptive parents, and, you know, just sort of finding out what that process is all about once you find out that you've been adopted, because there's 3 parties involved, right? There's the child, then there's the birth parents, and then there's the adoptive parents. So it's very complicated. So that's going to be really interesting. I don't have a title for book 3 yet, because as I said, you know, I'm not good with titles. And so my publisher came up with a title for book number 2, The Secret Keeper of Jaipur, and I'm sure they'll come up with a great title for book number 3 as well. Yeah, so book number 3 is all about, you know, Radha's big dilemma. Now that she is almost at the age that Lakshmi was in the Henna Artist, when she had to incorporate Radha into her life, Radha is going to have to figure out, do I want to incorporate this son whom I left when he was only 4 months old? Do I want to incorporate him into my life?
Interesting. Well, I can't wait to see how all of that pans out. I can't talk.
Yeah, I think it's going to be really fun. You guys have just been charming to talk to. We didn't hear too much from Leyla, so
I just want to say thank you for just giving us all this insight, not to mention writing the book and the characters. I mean, you have such a way of writing that your character development is great. And even, I just feel like we were like in India, and I think Kristen made the comment with the second book, it's like we're just revisiting old friends. These characters really came to life. And I'm looking forward to book number 3 as well as the series.
Oh, yay. Oh, thank you so much, Leyla. I really appreciate that. And it was nice to get to know you guys, Kristen. And, you know, I had no idea that we were all going to be on this thing together. So this is really fun. I think this is my first sort of Zoom where, or, you know, IG Live where we're doing 4 people all at once. I didn't even know you could do that. That's really cool.
I didn't know you could do that before. I had to try and figure out if I could do that for this.
Oh, well, it was great chatting. Oh,
yes, yeah. Thank you so much. It was lovely having you. I know there's some stuff we didn't quite get to, but I just wanted to say thank you so much for coming out and joining us this evening. It really was amazing having you here and getting to pick your brain about everything. And I think that, you know, all this research that you put your heart and soul into. It really shows in your books, and we appreciate that from a reader's perspective. It just makes everything so much more of a reading experience for us to be able to connect with those characters and those emotions and everything that they're going through. So it was really, really wonderful, and we are so looking forward to the last book, title yet unknown.
Well, that's that's fantastic. So we'll do this again in early 2023, which is when the third book comes out, and that's also when the TV series starts filming. So, awesome. Yes, we will definitely do this again.
Because I was going to mention it if not. So, and then just for everybody that is wanting to tune in for next month, we are going to, I just want to quickly announce before we jump off that next month's book is going to be the book Educated by Tara Westover, and the date is October 26th. I'll put all of that information in the caption for the IG Live, which will be, the replay will be on IGTV and YouTube. And yes, so thank you so much again, Alka, for being here with us. And thank you to Kalley and Leyla so much for co-hosting with me, and to everybody who hung out and joined in for the discussion. We'll catch you guys on the next one, okay?
Yay. Bye, everybody.
Yeah.
Read The Secret Keeper of Jaipur.
Yes.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
I don't know how to sign off.
I'm trying to figure it out too.